Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to the morning. Crazy start to the morning. Just so you guys can see, no open positions for me, no working orders, no filled orders, no trading during pre-market session. It looks like crude oil has been selling off ever since its close. As you guys can see right here, this is where it closed at. Been making lower lows, lower highs. There's no question that crude oil, as of right now, is a continuous descending pattern. This is putting DWT to trade right around 520 to 530, as you can see. So as crude oil continues to sell off, the direct correlation is DWT, and that pushes up, right? So that's the inverse ETN. The one that follows /CL would be something like UWT. Let's move on to /NQ. Quick little change of direction. I don't find there to be some form of consistent pattern with that. But then we have natural gas. Natural gas, with how it closed, again, D-gas with a huge sell-off, now trading at 112. What is that, 112? 113, my apologies. 113, and it closed at 127. So again, /NQ looking extremely bullish, especially after yesterday's performance. So I feel like that's pretty exciting because we're seeing a very consistent direction there. So again, one of the things that I tried to empower everyone yesterday is to not be so quick to take a position as soon as the market opens. I think it's a great thing that both natural gas showed signs of an uptrend during extended hours and crude oil selling off during extended hours. That's the current pattern that it showed during the whole, since the market, during that whole like extended hour session. One of the very common patterns that we've seen, and again, I'm just here to remind you, I'm sorry if I'm annoying you, there has been a consistent change of direction as soon as the market opens or shortly after. So make sure that if you do choose to take a position based off of current patterns, that you're on edge for a potential change of direction. So the one that I'm already kind of not seeing it on because it's still overall getting rejected. But right now, crude oil is pushing up. Again, crude oil overall is a continuous descending pattern. So as long as it follows through, we could see a push up. We'll see it most likely, if it follows previous patterns, to get rejected around the SMA line or middle VWAP if it actually follows through with that. So I'm going to give this a little bit of time. I could see there to be a potentially solid setup. For you guys, it's a pretty similar thing where we're pulling back right now, and it would make sense that it would pull back and then continue to rally so then we can pay attention to you guys. But again, nothing has to happen. So this is where we're going to have to stay a little patient. So how are you guys doing this morning? Any exciting fun plans for today? Anything? Great, nice. Yeah, work, going fishing, making some money. Got blind date in Scottsdale. I like that. Rock climbing school. Congrats to Weston and Tech Buds. Nice, appreciate that. Tanya, property hunting. I like that. Work. I like that, Chad. Gym after profit. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Trey. Boxing. 11% up on you guys already. Nice. Don't be afraid to lock it in, right? Follow with a trailing stop loss, whatever rows your boat or floats your boat, right? What is it? Here it goes. /NQ is already beginning to show signs of a potential reversal. Here we go. Learn plan fishing. Congratulations on the dealership. Thank you, Ricky. You ever fish? Kinda. Like I was on the boat. I didn't actually really fish, so yeah. Oh, nice, Caesar. I like that. Paul. So let's see what we got here. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Exactly, right, Angie? Here it goes. Natural gas is already beginning to show signs of an uptrend. Watch out for this. Let's see if we could actually make higher highs. Oh, nice. Here it goes. Higher highs. Can we break above 2.66? Most likely, right? Based off previous patterns, it wouldn't be such a surprise, especially as the market just opened. Yeah, when is the next staycation? I know we've had so many things going on recently, so we've just had to push a couple things back, but we'll be sure to announce it once the time comes. But I appreciate you asking. Here it goes. What do you guys think on crude oil? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's too early based off of how it's previously consolidated? Ooh, natural gas with a rejection. Wow, that one's kind of, it's a solid pullback. That's kind of mean. Look at that. Whoa. That's a solid pullback. I would have definitely had to cut losses on that one if I was in it, which I'm not, right? But let's see. All right. Oil waiting to consolidate. Okay. What do you guys think about natural gas now? This one looks a little bit different now. Okay. It's now beginning to sell off a little bit more. Maybe when we approach the SMA line, we can go in or follow up with it and see if it makes sense to go in with a very small position. Thoughts on gold? Oh, I do apologize. I don't think I broke that one down. So overall, I had a pretty consistent pattern here. Had a huge drop and has been selling off ever since. It looks like it does have somewhat of a support. It's definitely more at the support right now. It doesn't mean it's going to push up. As of right now, it's just doing a lot of consolidation around this general area. So I would say it's kind of indifferent. We don't know if it's going to continue to make lower lows or actually begin to reverse. So as of right now, it looks like it's still getting rejected by the EMA line. So the overall direction is still very bearish right now for gold itself. Therefore, for JDST, it should look a little bit more promising, but JDST should probably be a little bit more on the overbought side, right? So it's not going to be such a good deal. Therefore, I don't know if the margin of profit is going to be worth it if you're not already not in it. Do you get what I mean? Okay. I don't know if we're going to pull back all the way to the SMA line, but again, there's no reason to take a position and, unless, let's see. What's going on, Harrison? What's up? Oh, congrats. Okay, so I definitely see what you guys are talking about, that natural gas is looking a little bit overextended, right? It's just been so bullish lately that I wouldn't put it against it that it could continue to uptrend, right? On the 1 day 5-minute chart, let's check this out. We're right around that EMA line, so there is no break of pattern here. It's still bullish, right? Is it pulling back right now? Yeah, it's at the EMA line. Can we make higher highs? We'll have to follow up with it. I think this one's going to be an interesting one to watch. I don't know how many of you guys watched yesterday's video. I think that was like, I missed out on a lot. And if you think about it that way, I missed out on a lot of the movement on natural gas. I missed out on a lot of the movement on crude oil. But one of the things that I wanted to express is like it doesn't matter what you miss out on. Like there's so many opportunities within the day, especially in the stock market, that you miss out on. But did you have a plan for action? Did you feel comfortable taking that position? And that's my biggest focus that I've been trying to have lately is I reduced my position size so I feel more comfortable with the positions that I take and overall having a plan. Therefore, I took positions for about 1 hour and it wasn't the most successful day, but it was effective, right? With my position size and how it played out, I think that is like a decent way to look at things. It's not like, well, look, if it pushes up, I'm going to miss out on it. It's like, well, no, it's do you feel comfortable taking the position right now? And do you have a plan for action? And if the answer is no for either one of those, then it's not worth it. It's better to take, and we've said this before, and sorry for the repetition, but it's better to take no trade than a red trade because it almost ruins your day if you make a very simple mistake where you should have not gotten in, but you still do it due to FOMO, right? Or due to you needing to trade every single day. Remind yourself that you are a deal hunter. You are someone that only takes advantage of opportunities. And if an opportunity is not presented every single day, then you don't take a position every single day. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know why? Because you have nothing but time to take your positions, and it doesn't have to be now. You can not take a position for this whole month, and it still is insignificant, right? You want to focus on that criteria. Okay, so we got crude oil again. Now definitely looking a little bit more on the overextended side. I'm going to go on the 1 day 5-minute chart. I don't know how I feel about this right now, guys. I still could see a little bit more room for crude oil to push up. What do you guys think? Hey, the more patient we are, the more margin of potential profit for recovery that we could build for ourselves. Looks like natural gas is beginning to push. Okay, cool. How many people are still in UGAS or have recently gotten into UGAS? Dude, for all my people in Arizona, let me know if this is you guys as well. But I've been getting so many mosquito bites. I don't know why. That was never an issue here. And holy smokes, man. I think I got one in the bottom of my chin. Yeah. All right, people still in you guys. Okay, watch out for this. Again, one of the things that I want to point out, and again, it hasn't broken that pattern just yet, but it's been almost making these lower highs. So watch out for that and these lower lows. So just have an exit plan. You sure it was a mosquito? Yeah, no, I hear them. I've seen them. What else would it be? I don't get that. I don't know if that's a joke. Yeah, the roof. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Oh, still almost looking like it's gonna push up. So let's set those alerts. Thank you. Yeah, Weston and Caleb are super excited for the car dealership, so hopefully some of you that are relatively in the area can come visit for our grand opening once that comes in. We'll announce that when it does. So it should be hopefully within a month. We'll have a couple cars there and organize the whole event. So different types of fly maybe. Okay. Okay, here it goes. Well, it's not really making higher highs yet, so watch out here for a potential peak. Let's see what happens. Do you see what I'm talking about these like lower highs, right? And these lower lows? Do you see what I'm talking about? So it wouldn't be so surprising for there to be a potential dip or a pullback right now. Ooh, guys, check this out. Wow. We were not wrong. Look at that. And Diaz with the push. That was 1% in 1 minute. Again, if you begin to see that there's a potential change of direction, please, please, please let this be a perfect example of just giving it more time. Don't frustrate yourself. And this is why we're testing it. This is why we're trying to become a little bit more comfortable with it. So look, we got /CL beginning to show more signs of a potential peak formation. So again, when /CL sells off, UWT tends to push up. I'm going to go in with a super, super small position size. So I'm going to go in with 2,000 shares, and I'll go in at, let's see. I'll go in at 2.2 if I get filled. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to go in with $10,000, which again, I'm going to have some area for movement just to make sure that we get confirmation. It's just, again, this is my first position for the day. As you guys can see, it's going to be something that is just going to allow me to get some skin in the game. And we'll still manage our risk. We'll still manage our risk for a break of pattern, and we'll do our part in making sure that we don't only set ourselves up for success, but that we keep those losses small, right? There's no reason to let it to continue to run. Did this all day yesterday. Again, Colton, I 100% agree with you. Let's not force it, right? Especially with natural gas, as I do remember natural gas was selling off all of yesterday after it began to change directions, and then it fully reversed towards like the last hour to 2 hours of the market open. It doesn't look like I'm going to get filled. I'll get filled at 2.3. Let's see. All right, so I got filled at 5.2292. Let's just say 5.23, just to round it up. So this is what we got going on right now for crude oil. What do you guys think? Right? Not bad. There it goes, making and beginning to make somewhat of lower lows. We'll see if it holds below the EMA line. And looking at previous patterns, this is what we have to work with. So again, we have time. Let's not force it. I want to make sure that top priority for me is managing that risk. So where am I at? So my average purchase price, again, 5.2292. So pretty much 5.23. So I'm going to sell. I'm going to get this thing ready with 100%. Let's see if it allows me to do the duplicate order now. Still doesn't. Cool. Let's see. Nope. All right. I'm going to do it with a stop, and I'm going to do this stop at 119. Or 19. What the heck? 119. There it goes. We'll see what happens. There it goes. It looks like it's still pushing up, but again, top priority, we want to make sure that we manage our risk. So from 5.23 to 119, that's about, what is that? 0.66 when it comes down to risk management. And for a $10,000 position size, very small. What would be your ideal exit? Well, looking at crude oil and how it's been performing, you guys know that I don't normally always try to sell at the lowest price point. So we could see that it hit like 54.61, 54, like 60, around that general area. My goal would be to try to get out around this general range. So 54.70, right? That general support area to around like maybe 7.5. So once crude oil begins to approach this general area, again, to not be afraid to lock in profits. But it looks like we're already beginning to push right back up. We'll see what happens here for crude oil. But again, I'm not worried. Why? Because I have my risk management already set up. So worst case scenario, it won't even be $100 that I'll lose. It will be about 0.70. So maybe $70, if that, on my position size. Which we should be just fine. Right now, I'm down $10. So, again, not bad. Feeling comfortable, feeling confident. Why? I feel like I have a pretty good setup. My position size is within my means of just getting the day started, right? Natural gas is selling off. I do apologize. I didn't count. Oh, what? Oh, you said Kevin. Okay. I thought you said it was here. But yeah, and again, this is my first position for the day, so just trying to get some some skin in the game without, breaking the bank. Still holding NG. I like your plan. I appreciate that. Here we go. I did get one, or I do want to answer one of the questions real quick about the dealership. We were getting a couple questions about what our ideal focus is with the dealership and what cars we're going to sell. We're not going to be selling high-end cars there. It's going to be most likely your everyday drivers, and we're going to have a huge focus on selling cars through our social platforms. So something that I don't think a lot of dealerships do. And then having a huge focus on students and first-time drivers. So making sure that, at least in my eyes, I wanted there to be a huge focus on still giving people good deals. So therefore they can enjoy the car and they end up, I just feel like the overall experience would be that much greater when they don't end up feeling like they paid an arm and a leg for their first vehicle. So does that mean that you have to pay tax? Of course, once you're an established dealership, you do have to pay taxes, as in if I do sell a car or the dealership sells a car to someone, then you do therefore have to pay taxes. But again, these are goals, something that we have to work towards and making sure that it's within our means. So I'm really excited to be able to just share our experience and also our struggles when it comes down to setting up this dealership, just to give people a little bit of a better understanding that maybe want to pursue something like that later down the road. But I'm personally very excited. Do you guys know that oh, look at this. It should have cut losses already. Yo, dude. I'm gonna get out of here. It didn't fill at, whoa. My stop got removed. What the heck? That is so messed up. Oh, I'm out of here. That was not cool. I'm fine. $38. That was so bummy. Did you guys see that? That would have been such a poor position to have been in if I would have had a lot of money, right? In that position. That was so bummy. Okay. Well, again, it pulled back pretty aggressive, just so you guys could see. The loss is still not bad. I actually ended up cutting losses a little bit sooner than expected, but again, one of the things that we saw is that it built the support and is actually making these higher highs. I don't know if we're going to break above the SMA line. It gave me some indication enough that I probably don't want to hold that very small position size. It was more just to get some skin in the game. But again, a very small loss. What is that? $38, I think. Yeah, $38.20. Not bad for my first trade. Again, we have nothing but time for the remainder of the day. Now it just means that we have to maybe be a little bit more patient for our next trade. Do you guys see this little pattern that we have going on here? Is it just me or do you guys all see it, right? We talked about this. These lower lows and these lower highs. You guys all see it? Why did it get canceled? I don't know. This has happened to me. This happened to me yesterday when I set my stop loss on one of my positions on DGAS. And my position was there. And as soon as it begins to approach it, it cancels. So that would have been super frustrating if my DGAS position did not go according to plan and it just sold off how it did later throughout the day. And let's say I wasn't available. Think about how much I would have been down right now, right? Because I was trading it was in the 120s, right, yesterday? Yeah, 120 to 130s, yeah. Yep, no, I like that. So, hey Ricky, is there any way to shorten the time from my account being day trade equity restricted because I need to exit out of? So you can call. I know that sometimes they do give some form of like first time extensions or something like that. Altogether, there's no promises. I don't know if they're going to do it for you. I have heard a couple times that like Robinhood would do it. I don't know if you know, larger brokerages would be so willing to exempt you from that, or excuse that. Okay, I appreciate that, Ryan. So you're saying that Grub, so this is Grubhub, right? Grub dropped, wait, what? The ticker's not popping up. Is it my TOS or what's going on here? Huge drop due to earnings, now trading at 35.62. Wow. Overall, it is a descending pattern, something that we all have to make sure we keep in mind. So that's not necessarily in our favor, but it is oversold enough that it makes sense on why it can reverse. Again, but just like you said, it could have a very nice bounce once it formulates some form of support. So when we actually get indication of a reversal, great. Until then, I wouldn't touch it because the overall direction and currently how it's selling off is not something that I find attractive enough to want to trade it. So depending on how you want to approach it, if you want to approach it as a day trade, then set your alerts for a potential reversal and make sure that you manage your risk, especially with these. BYND, yeah, I don't like that one. BYND, so this is Beyond Me or whatever it is, yeah. Isn't this the pump and dump? Yeah. Well, I just don't like this one. I feel like this one was nothing but BS the whole time. So, yeah, it's aggressively selling off. This one doesn't surprise me. Yeah, can it reverse? Cool. But the overall direction, this one's aggressively selling off. And, yeah, I would not care to trade this one myself. So, wow. Look at that. Not change of direction. We have to admit, it's not a change of direction yet, but it's definitely pulling back for natural gas. So, cold. Just got the alert. Okay, let's check this out. 180-day chart. Okay, cold making higher highs. It's too overextended. Probably wouldn't make much sense. So we got crude oil here. Crude oil looking like it's trying to pull back. Okay. And /NG. Rode DGAS a bit. I like it. 166. What's going on, Sergey? I like it. So how many of you guys have locked in profit on DGAS? So for all those that have locked in profits on DGAS, can you let everyone know that is watching right now why you decided to lock in profits? What about natural gas? Again, it doesn't have to, and it could drop aggressively right here, right? Just like anything can always happen. But what influenced you, if you locked in profits on DGAS, what influenced you to lock in profits? Why would you lock in profits right now on DGAS? SMA could act as a support, previous patterns, right? Based off of previous patterns, all pre-market session, right? Since yesterday. It's been doing an excellent job holding above the SMA line. What do we know? Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to, especially, and again, I know I annoy the crap out of you guys and I do apologize, but in my experience for the past 2 weeks, the change of direction and change of pattern from pre-market to normal market hours, it has happened every single day. And then you guys can go back to like literally every single day. Yes, we could see a potential support here, but don't put it against natural gas to continue to sell off, especially with how overbought it is. Again, don't sell yourself the dream. Allow it to make sense. Allow it to identify its direction. There we go. So we got Grub pushing above 36.12. Okay. Hit my goal. I like that. And look at this. Crude oil and that inconsistency. I am not about that. Look at that consolidation. You see that? perfect sign of why I'm not going to trade crude oil right now. Just because of that, it doesn't meet my criteria. It could shoot up, it could shoot down. As of right now, it's just too inconsistent that it's not worth the risk. I'd rather not trade it, right? I'd rather not trade it than partake in that activity because it continues to change direction. Right now, with /NG, I do apologize, /CL. We're trying to see if it finds a support here. And it looks like it's going to begin to try to push up. But again, keep in mind for these overall lower highs, watch out for a potential resistance. Crude oil. Okay, is the market changing direction too? Is that what you're saying? Well, no, I wouldn't say that because the overall market is pulling back right now. Well, you can tell that there's a different, it's trading differently. And what's it called? I find that NGZ19 follows you guys and D guys closer. So that's why I have that on my screen. We talked about this about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. /CL just pushed up, and it was because our members that were tuning in brought it up that it had a change in for the overall month of contracts for natural gas. Natural gas pushing up. Okay, getting a couple of alerts. Watch out. Ooh, getting rejected. Watch out for this. Do you ever use UNG? No, I personally don't, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't, right? I would explore both sides. I am familiar with UNG, and if you find that ETF makes more sense to you, then so be it, right? But altogether, you trade what makes the most sense to you. Yeah, the only thing with that, Tanya and Dr. Jennifer, is that those are indexes. They don't trade 24/7. Therefore, if I'm trying to trade pre-market hours, I'm not going to really benefit from the activity of focusing on indexes in comparison to the overall futures. You get what I mean? And that's just my opinion. And that's just, I've explained that multiple times on why I like to have that focus, and that's just me. So crude oil actually making higher highs. What do we got going on for natural gas? All right, still lower highs, right? That's what, and well, we haven't made lower lows yet, Colton, for the pullback, but possibly. I do agree with you, possibly, right? All right. Ooh, quick little update for you guys as well. As you guys know, on Friday, I bought my 10th investment property, and this is not one that I invested in as a hard money lender. This is one that I invested in to actually rehab myself. So it's going to be my first one. And guys, buying from a wholesaler and working with their title company, I am so thankful for Lenny or in everything, just being in contact with someone that's experienced in this whole process and how he's helping me and assisting me in avoiding certain fees that I was not aware of. When it comes down to closing docs and buying a house traditionally and stuff like that, I'm pretty well versed. Natural gas is pulling back, but buying a house through a wholesaler and closing the deal and the paperwork, I'm completely unfamiliar with it. So I think because I'm learning so much and it's kind of like scary as I'm unaware of everything that I'm doing, I feel so much more comfortable having someone that is experienced like Lenny walking me through the way of closing that deal. So I'm really excited to and a lot of you guys, if you're well versed in real estate, might already know what is happening. For me, it's just not the traditional way of doing things because you don't have an agent that's walking you through the entire process, or you're not just simply buying a home like cash, right? There's this whole process of working with their title to pay off the wholesaler, to pay off what the contract was for the sale, and then to get that title reversed. So some market's selling off. Yeah. And crude oil is not following. Wow. Let's check it. Facebook selling off. Tesla usually isn't influenced by this as much. Where we at? Tesla, ooh, 316. That's a pullback within itself. Okay, Tesla, yeah, definitely makes sense. Once that hype dies out, again, we've said it multiple times that, come on, guys, we've expected this, right? You guys know you guys should have locked in profits. Look how overextended it was. It's no FOMO. It's just it makes sense, right? We got, what is it? Netflix. Is Netflix selling off? Yeah, down 1.2%. Okay. So yeah, market. Correct. Alexis, so the whole idea, again, ignore the time frame that I use. That's irrelevant, right? What I want to remind you, and for everyone watching, he's asking a question about, ooh, natural gas dropping below the SMA line. Watch out for this. Again, this is in favor of degas. One of the things that I want to remind you is the reason. I want you to understand the intention, not what I did. It doesn't matter if I looked at the 10-day, 5-minute chart. That's irrelevant, right? Why did I look at larger time frames when I was swing trading? But again, it's the understanding the concept of swing trading. You're holding something for more than just one day. Therefore, you want more patterns to be able to identify, or you want more just overall patterns to be able to understand its direction. If you could identify any consistent flow of pattern and direction, therefore you have more to go off of, more data in a sense, right? Therefore, that's why it makes sense that instead of looking at the 1-day, 1-minute chart or the 5-day, 5-minute chart, if you plan to go in for a swing trade, that you look at the 20-day, 1-hour chart and you look at overall low points and high points and how it's been trending. Can you pick up on a pattern? Is it more at the oversold side than it is at the overbought side? All these different things that you have more time to understand the way that it's been trading. Exactly. Just to see the bigger picture. If you go into it as a day trade, I can look at the 20-day, 1-hour chart, but it's not going to be as relevant as maybe the 1-day, 1-minute chart or the 5-day, 5-minute chart, as those are more relevant patterns to the current state of that position, right, or that stock. But when it comes down to overall swing trades, then really depends on how long you plan to hold it, how long you plan to maybe invest in it, and then that should have an influence on how far back you go. I want you to understand like the intention. It's not about the 20-day, 1-hour chart that's the way to go. It's understanding why you're looking at larger time frames. Again, it's problem solving, right? So if you understand why you're doing something, every trade and every stock is different, right? Therefore, by having a general understanding of that concept, you can then have a much more broad understanding of how to approach every swing trade, right? No, of course, I appreciate you. Thank you again for asking. Hopefully that was a decent explanation. If it's not, then let me know. And yeah. /GC. All right, how long have we been live for? 38 minutes. Jesus, I look tired. Yikes. Sorry about that, guys. Super Snake. Super Snake, I told Justin about your offer in Texas and going on the racetrack and stuff like that. He loves your car, by the way. And he's like, dude, you have to understand, Justin is like a super car enthusiast. Like, I'm into cars. I like them. Justin goes to car shows. I don't. There goes crude oil pulling back, and he's super pumped. So Isaac, one of my biggest things is it says you lost 10% of your account, you made it all back, and then now you lost it again. My biggest thing, Isaac, that I want to remind you is that the market has been more inconsistent, but even that's not an excuse, right? It should have empowered you to be a little bit more selective with what you choose to trade. So with that, and quality opportunities and trades are at the top of your list, right? That the very basics of risk management, not getting in too early, waiting for confirmation, locking in profits at any indication of a resistance. You know that you can make that 10% back within a month. I'm not going to say easy, but it's possible. You just need to get to that point. It doesn't mean that you have to trade aggressively or trade with your overall account size. And I also want to remind you that what you're trading with right now is not what you can be trading with down the road. So I would still approach it with, if you if you begin to discourage yourself with the dollar amount that you're trading with right now and you become emotionally like unstable when you take that position, then trade with less. It's not about recovering that percentage or that dollar amount that's going to make you a better trader. It's gaining experience, feeling comfortable, and then scaling once you have that experience. But the only way that you're going to get there is, again, if you begin to start chopping down on the mistakes that you're making. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's risk management. I don't know if it's getting in too early. I don't know if it's not locking in profits or trying to take a trade every single day. I think at the end of the day, you need to write down what are your areas of opportunity and slowly but surely start working on them every single week, 2 weeks. Focus on one of those. If you suck at risk management, focus a week, 2 weeks on just cutting losses or managing risk. And this could be with a simulation trading account. The whole idea is identifying the areas that you lack in and then refining them and trying to work on getting better. Same thing when it comes down to any profession out there. If I'm a basketball player and I suck at free throws, then I'm going to focus a little bit more of my time and attention on free throws. If I suck at layups or three-pointers, then again, that's where I'm going to focus my attention. So when I'm put at that position for that opportunity to throw that three-pointer, I have a better odd because my work, right? My work was put into that area where I'm slowly going to try to get better. A trade journal is super helpful. Okay, I like that. Natural gas does look like it's getting rejected, guys. I did see that. I wouldn't say on the verge of breaking. We're still above the SMA line. And one of the things, and again, this is just in my opinion, one of the things that I've noticed is that as we begin to break above the SMA line, and if it holds a support, this is where we can begin to see a change of direction. You guys can look at previous patterns and see if you see that same pattern. I'm just speaking from my previous times trading crude oil. If we begin to consolidate enough above the SMA line, we will most likely see a change of direction. Thank you. I think I get in too early. And again, so now we're going to work on, if it's okay with you, on your next position. It's not about getting in too early. It's about taking a position when the action is happening and feeling comfortable with it. So even if you buy one share, just remember, Isaac, you're trading to learn, not trading to profit as you're still learning, right? And I think with that mentality in mind, kind of like when I took my position on not forward slash CL, but on DWT, it's like if it would have been a green trade or a red trade, I'm not upset that I took a red trade on DWT, right? Because it was just to test the waters, to see if I had some indication of how the day was going to play out. If it went in my favor, cool. If it didn't, then again, I wasn't trading for the money. I was just trading to, become more comfortable within the day. So natural gas broke its pattern. Where are we at? I wouldn't say it broke its pattern just yet. We're not necessarily making higher highs. So we definitely can be, though. Definitely less consistent. I used to swing trade a lot of times, short-term swing trades, but I definitely used to do short-term swing trades very, very often because there's a more consistent flow with less. It's not that it's like less consistent. It's that there's more news being shared and more things that are having an influence on driving the price up or down or uncertainty. So therefore, people just continue to talk or tweet, and it just makes it more difficult for you to feel comfortable as something pushes up or pushes down, right? So therefore, that's why I have had a stronger focus on day trading. But that's just me. So overall, look at this. Crude oil beginning to drop below the SMA line now. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. We're getting a little bit more consolidation on natural gas. So I'm going to set my alert on both sides. I like that. The harder you work, the luckier you get. I have that same quote on my bed, like near my bed. And there it goes, being in push up again. So I'm just going to set my alerts. I'm going to follow up with this maybe when we have a little bit more a clear understanding of its direction, and then we can kind of go from there. So it's 7:15 a.m. Market's been open for 45 minutes. Guys, don't make it or break it right now. It's if you have a consistent direction and pattern, cool, so be it. With the two commodities that I'm focusing on right now, there is not a consistent pattern or direction. Therefore, why should I be super eager to take a position? Am I running out of time? No. Is this my last trade? No, right? Is this a make it or break it for me? No. It's like, you are your own boss when it comes down to trading. And a lot of you guys are so empowered by that. So prove it to yourself. You have no one else to prove it to. Prove it to yourself that you can be your own boss and be disciplined. Stay patient and allow that opportunity to present itself. So I'm going to leave it at that. Again, we're getting a lot of consolidation on both natural gas and crude oil, and a quick little update on the overall market. It still doesn't look too hot, but it looks like it's trying to find support before it sells off. So Ricky, do you think that you can tag at everyone when you mention anything in trade? The whole idea behind that at posting in the trade ideas is so I don't have to tag at everyone. Everyone doesn't want to, don't want to continue, they don't want to continue to receive the notification that I'm posting, since everyone knows that I'm the only one that posts under the trade ideas. So just in respect to everyone else's activities throughout the day, I don't want to bug the thousands of people that we have within our Discord chats that don't want to be alerted. Do you get what I mean? But I really do appreciate you guys' time. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, I would encourage you to watch it, because not only do I talk a little bit about the establishment of our first step for the dealership, but also I do a quick little recap on the day, especially if you're struggling to take a position right now and you're becoming more frustrated. I think you'll benefit from the last 4 minutes of yesterday's video. I appreciate you guys' time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.